Alright, this is Grayson with Garvin's Plumbing. We're waiting on water to drain down. We ran a whole bunch of water. We're at 1042 South Pearl. Couple bellies prevalent throughout. Looked a lot worse whenever water was running. There was areas that were above water versus below. I'm sure that once we let it all drain out, we'll see where it stands. I haven't had too much in the way of seeing any cracks, but it was hard to see whenever the water was running. So our tap is down a vertical section. Decent bit. So this is our tap after the vertical section, about 40 feet from the clean out outbound. A little bit of an offset on the bottom, but since it's vertical, it shouldn't really impede flow. Entire sewer line is ABS after the cast iron, except for the tap. So from 33 to 40 is clay. Then we go to ABS. So water's been off for a while and it's still draining a little bit because of those low spots. Just the top is kind of skimming off. I'm going to pause the video and let the water drain a little more. Okay, so we've given it a couple of minutes. Still a little bit of a low spot there, but we're going to proceed. Low spot kind of remains and gets worse as we go, and we won't be able to see much whenever we're underwater. Tried to run as much water as I could to clear out the bellies so that maybe we could see whenever we were inside of them. However, it's marginally successful. The other half of the line looks better. We were able to get a decent bit of sediment out. The camera head sits up about an inch, so about 25 to 50% of the pipe holds water. So now we're coming back up to what it should look like. This would be a more acceptable belly if you could even consider it. And this section right here I would say is normal, even if it is draining out a little slow. So we're about to go back down again into water. So what happens whenever you have these multiple graded offsets is only the top surface of the water, as you can kind of see it, is draining over the offset, and then it goes until this section of pipe is also lower. So that's how the bellies form. Alright, hopefully I've stalled enough. And enough water is drained out from the other side. So we've got a little bit of scale that looks like washed out right there, not a big deal. And that offset on the bottom of the pipe is very minor, but we immediately have another belly. So this belly isn't quite as bad. It's not great though. It's essentially the area where the cleanouts are is underwater, and then right after. So yeah, we're about to come up with the cleanouts. So there's some of the sediment and whatnot that we have pushed out. Now the crack section is difficult to see. But I don't know if he's saying the crack is to the left there. And I'll run more water and make sure that piece of wood gets out. I'm not sure that I really see the crack area. Maybe that's it on the bottom there. So that is what's causing that little low spot. So the crack itself wouldn't be that big of a deal, but whenever you've got a crack and a belly and water standing, then water seeps into the ground, which causes the ground to settle, and in turn makes the belly worse until it's more catastrophic. We're gonna go inbound, gonna zero out whenever we get to the bottom. So that the tap is about 30 feet away from the bottom of the outbound cleanout. I did not zero out at the bottom. Now my zero is not working. I'm going to pause the video. Alright, well, my distance counter is not resetting. I don't know why. So we're going to call it 10 feet. We'll subtract 10 feet. So still underwater by the risers. Chunk of scale there. Alright. So as soon as we get inbound past the risers, we're not in a belly anymore. There's no water standing in this at all. And right here we've got large gap. It's not super big, but you can see it more flush. Joint looks okay. That's a more ideal looking joint. Some more scale and sediment in the line, and then so 20 or 13 feet from the inbound and clean out, we have our belly starting. And this belly is more clear so that we can still see. ABS is notorious for flexing. It's not good to bury ABS in general. It needs to be PVC or SDR. So here at 18 feet is where that belly starts. So a little 5-foot belly there. And now 30 feet away we've got something tying in. I'm not sure what that is. At the top, if that's another clean out that's hidden. But the joint looks okay. Some more scale from the cast iron. Another okay joint. And then some more sediment. A little bit of a belly. So what happens is these low spots that are flat are slightly back pitched. It'll deposit waste with the flush, but then the water will flow backwards to the low spot. And then this debris builds up. And it can grab toilet paper and cause clogs and issues. Okay. So yeah, you can see water going backwards a little bit, although that's from me pushing my camera. And then we've got right here At 32 feet is where our belly starts. At 34 feet, we've got our cast iron transition, which looks okay. Cast iron doesn't have any bellies, is what it's looking like. Aside from needing to be descaled, looks okay. Doesn't have any apparent rot channels. And here we're coming up on right at 60 feet. It's going to turn, and then we'll have a tie-in for the bottom bathroom or downstairs bathroom group, and then it'll curve up to go up the stack. And that's where a lot of our sediment was deposited. Made sure to run water almost every fixture. Gonna pull back now. I'm gonna go a little quickly just so we have a shot going backwards of everything. This is where our belly is about to start. And this belly is small, but it has a lot of debris that's been building up in it because it's not displacing the waste and having it float out. This could be extra debris from some remodel stuff as well. Start of another belly. So this is a good example of that water being back pitched. So water is flowing backwards, and only the force of a flush is pushing any water past that, and it's just drops waste. This is that bend. And then we're about to go our other belly right as our clean out area starts, and then we'll be coming up our clean outs. It's been Grayson with Garvin's. Thank you.